Good morning, faculty. It is Friday, August 25th, and it is our first week back on classes. My name is Chris Gibbons. I am your Faculty Senate Chair for this academic year, and I wanted to thank you for a fantastic interaction last week in our development days. And we received a lot of good information back from you, and I wanted to, as promised, push that information back out to you for you to digest in summary form. So that's the purpose of this video, to share that information with you. You will notice that there is a PDF download for you to take a look at that data that has been compiled from those group activities that we had last week. But let me just kind of run through the highlights real quickly here and tell you what your next steps are going to be, and also highlight some other next steps required for some of our committee groups that you may be involved in. Email communication was pushed out earlier on that, but I just want to reemphasize that real quickly. But let's take a look at some of the summary information that we had that came out of that wonderful group activity last week. So one of the questions that we had here were what faculty issues that you would like to see addressed for the next academic year. And this table kind of shows the frequency of those responses grouped into areas. Now, obviously, the number one that jumps out is workload. So we have that, and then you can see service hours and the flexibility versus mandatory versus required, and then you can see the responses down there. Also, we have that in a nice bar chart for you as well for your uh, data digesting interest. So here we go. And then our next question was, what should the faculty's responsibilities be in shared governance? So let me pop that down so you can see that there. So the number one and number two responses were open communication, as far as a faculty responsibility, and then willingness, involvement, and presence in there. So we've got that, and then all the way down, going through there on all of the responses that you submitted. So again, thank you for that. And our wonderful bar charts in there. And then lastly, how will that responsibility be executed? Really, what would that governance process look like? Number one, by a clear vote there, if you will, was faculty having a voice, and then followed up by that was all faculty voting. So these tell me that these are things that you like and appreciate and that you want embedded in this shared governance process. All right, so there's some of the summary information. The other two group activities were more about process and more um, to give us, the Faculty Senate, guidance in the shared governance process. So thank you for that information. That one we're going to basically internally use to guide our actions. These were the three group activities that were most involved with the entire faculty body. So take a look at this information. Now, with that information, what I need your help with is that frequency doesn't necessarily, and I'll scoot back up here to our first one. Frequency doesn't necessarily mean importance. It may not. But what I would like is your input. And that's what this is all about. It's about your input. So next week, early next week, probably Monday or Tuesday, Mary is going to push out a one of our wonderful survey monkeys out to all of you, and you're going to be asked to kind of prioritize these top categories in here on what issues you would like to see addressed this year. My assumption it's workload, but you know what they say about assuming. So I don't want to assume that. I'm going to ask you to rank order these areas because, quite frankly, we will not be able to get to all of them. We will probably focus on the top one, maybe two. Remember, our biggest priority that we have to do is shared governance. This is sort of the secondary priority, or the third, that we will try to address in the time that we have this year. So I'm going to need your help with that. Look for that coming out on Monday or Tuesday. I would like all of you to participate. So please participate. We're going to close that down pretty quickly. So when you see that request come out, Make sure you go in there. It'll take you literally 30 seconds to answer a few questions and you'll be done with it. So there's that for you. All right, next thing I'd like to touch on real quickly here, and I'll remove my picture altogether, is that there is some key information if you are involved in some of our college committees. Again, this information was pushed out a few weeks ago, but we do have some due dates looming for those individuals on our college academic committees. I know there are other types of committees, but all of the ones that report up through faculty senate. There is some information required from you. The first one is that you need to submit that committee update form, which I sent to the committee chairs. If your committee did not have a chair, curriculum, I'm talking to you, I sent it out to all the members of the curriculum committee. I need that update form filled out to kind of really understand your status right now and where you might need some help. I also need those operational bylaws attached to that same submission. Thank you, Justin. You've got everything I think submitted at this point, and so thank you for that. The next thing, and that is for our assessment committee. The next thing is I do need you to set your meeting dates for the academic year by September 1st. Actually, we are technically behind. Those have to be, according to our faculty handbook, those had to be established a week earlier, but I know we're all kind of getting a little bit of a late start here with figuring out our committee structure. So, but definitely have your meeting dates established by 9/1, and please forward me those meeting dates. I do have to share those with Dr. Bates, who will be participating in many of those. And myself, as well as ex officio, will try to participate in some of those. Um, and then lastly, if you have any vacancies, and I know that there are some committees that have some vacancies, uh, we need to have those addressed very quickly. I have already worked with the deans. Thank you, Liz Sprunk, who helped me within about 3 hours to fill a very important vacancy on Faculty Senate. So thank you for that. But we will work with the deans on getting any identified vacancies filled. All right, so that concludes this really quick update. Again, thank you so much for your participation in those, in that faculty development days and our breakout sessions. That information was very important, and that will be used to guide our efforts going forward. All right, well, until we talk again in a couple of weeks, thank you for watching.